Now, there is Newman with Mike Smith right behind him. Mike Smith closing up and going for it, and he hits Newman. Newman off. Both of them stop. Sidner goes through, and two more BMWs, and another. 17th to 8th, and this is Jerry Marnie chasing Carville's BMW, and off goes the BMW. He recovers, but he's lost 4 places. He's only go up to Goddard now. He's home, but he's lost it. Blomqvist lost it. Gosh, Sears is through, just yards from the flag. Goes up on the curb, Marnie goes through, he's touching Forrest, and Forrest spins. Forrest spins out. Chicane, battle for 4th, Hathaway, Bristow, Newman, and Newman's lost it. Newman's lost it. Bang, straight into the new pit wall. Well, poor Mike Newman. And at the complex, there's Baird and Whale, and there's a spin. There's contact, there's a spin. Both off the course. Nick Whale continues. So it's just into the chicane now. And there's a crash. Collision. Luby hits Sidner. Both BMWs spin. Jeff Allen goes through into 2nd place. Sidner and Luby recover. Now he's making no impression at all on Tim Harvey and Andy Rouse. Into the left-hander, and Brooklands goes, and Rouse loses it. Rouse spinning. Rob Gravick goes up into 2nd position. Sean Walker to 3rd. It's all happy. And so's Nick Wales. Spins off onto the grass, but he'll probably regain and get going again. There's another BMW in front of him. Out round Island, and this is where he's onto the grass. It's damp, there is no adhesion, his tyres won't hold, the windscreen wiper's going, here comes the tyre wall, and zonk, he's into it. Going in, and that's Cleland. Cleland locks up. He's done it again. John Cleland's done it again. And he's made a real job of it this time. Wow, lucky he's got a reverse gear. Backwards onto the track. Lining up the car. Now the tyres are locked up. No way he's going to stop. In for the 2nd time. Here it is from the outside. And you can see straight in. And here's the Swedish woman driver, Nettan Lindgren, and Jerry Marnie's lost it. Jerry's certainly having an exciting 1990 one way and another. In car again with Jerry Marnie, Clark ahead, into Stowe. Out of it, Clark's lost it. Is Marnie going to hit him? Mercifully no. Clark goes into the sand trap. And that's John Clark. Off goes John Clark. Spins right off at Surtees. He was doing 90 miles an hour. He's up alongside the White Sierra. He's going to retake the lead. No, he's not. He's lost it. Yes, he's lost it, and that is just less grip. So, Rob Gravitt leads. Tim Harvey rejoins 2nd, and you can see the way the Ford Sierra Cosworth stride away from the Vauxhall. They've got 550 horsepower, and Amato's lost it. Amato's lost it. Through goes Cleland. Through goes Sidner, through goes Allen. He's passed, though, as they go down to Westfield, and Cleland goes through again. Middlehurst onto the grass. Sidner goes through, and Middlehurst has lost it. Luby goes by, Allen goes by, Lindgren goes by. Onto the chicane, Mark Hales, and Nick Whale. He nerves Nick Whale, pushes him right off the course, up onto the curbing. They come out of the right-hander and down to the club chicane for the last time. And Chris Hodges is closing. He's trying to take her on the outside. And he spins. Tries too hard. Erstreich goes up. Steve Soper ahead. Up to Maggott's curve. 130 miles an hour. Down to Beckett's. And there's Palmer on the left. He's turning in. Thump. He's hit Andy Rouse. Off. Off goes the Toyota. What a start for his first Toyota race. They turn in. And Harvey's lost it. Tim Harvey spins. And that's what Middlehurst Harry.
This was the last lap, and he's lying 4th. Disastrous end for Palmer, and his bad luck was set to continue.
Allen in the 3rd position. Behind him is Billman. There's an off. It's Palmer. Jonathan Palmer and Tim Harvey looks as though he's got a clear car length ahead of Palmer as he turns in. Palmer thumps him. Spins Harvey, and Harvey, now this is from Jonathan Palmer's car. Harvey on the left, they're into Riches. Well, you can see what happened, and Tim is going to be very, very unhappy with that. Right into Russell, then the very tight hairpin, braking, and Jonathan's right up alongside Lindgren, and he's done it again! He's hit Netton. Lindgren spins off. Well, what an absolute disaster for Jonathan Palmer and Netton. Spins his rear wheels. Oh dear, he's not at all happy. It's not his day. Oh dear me. And there's Netton. I bet she's not best pleased either. She certainly doesn't look as though she thinks it was her fault. Oh, this is going to be...
What are you trying to do?
And she doesn't. Hell hath no fury like a woman rammed. But the crowd loved it. Thank you and goodbye. The two cars at the back, Netton on the right, Jonathan on the left, and he just lost it on the braking. Slid into Netton's car, they both spin off, both out of the race, both the works BMW.
Seeing off the championship leader, Will Hoy. On a showery day, most of the field had gambled on dry weather slick tyres. And the new race leader Cleland was Cleland himself, a gentle pace, headlights blazing, but he was completely out of control. The others did their best to limit the damage. Jeff Allam had also gone straight on at Brooklands and rejoined just as Hoy was making his very rapid exit.
Replay, we're with Frank Sittner. He's coming up to try and take number 33, Gary Ailes, and he hits him. Just hits the rear and spins the Toyota round and goes through a 22 in the BMW, and somebody is off. That's Nick Whale. He's going to be hit. No, his teammate Nick Baird just misses him. Wow, that was a very close thing. Spin turn by Nick Baird, and he's back. But there is oil on the track, and that is very dangerous indeed. Indeed, Mark Hales goes off in the Mitsubishi Gallant. Into the right-hander at McLean's, Andy Rouse leading, and they're off! And it's carnage! They've hit oil. Alan McClelland into Wales's car, Soper goes through, Harvey is off. Keith Oda goes through and just misses Harvey. Oh, and Tim Harvey manages to get away. It was an absolute miracle, but nobody was hurt. Now, it's amazing that Jeff doesn't want the collar on, because just watch his head in this replay. The car on the left. Just look at that. Quite incredible that he's quite all right. And so is John Cleland. But Soper's fighting back. He's there and he's hit him. Soper hits Harvey and he's off. Tim Harvey off. He's sliding along the grass. And the rescue unit is out. Oh dear, that's bad news. It's Lawrence Bristow, and this is, we're with Gary Ailes' car now, the stationary one, and Bristow goes off onto the grass and really thumps the tyre wall.
As the rest were warming their tyres, Sittner never saw him coming. The kind of accident that had been on the cards for a long time. Sittner was understandably furious, but at least he got going, while Ailes was out for good. Into the race, and Rouse was in the thick of things again, this time against Cleland, and coming off second best. Soper and Gravett taking advantage as well.
Soper leading, Hoy second, Palmer third and challenging, closing up on the BMW in front of him as they go into the right-hander, and Hoy turns in, and Palmer's hit him. Palmer hits Hoy. Hoy spins out. We're with Hoy now. Jonathan Palmer sees an opportunity, dives into the gap, just touches the back of Hoy's BMW, which spins out. Palmer goes through. And now, here's a replay from Harvey's point of view. Jonathan Palmer ahead. You can see he's just touched the back of Hoy's car. And he may have felt that as Cleland was behind Hoy, and Jonathan Palmer has got something wrong with the car, desperately peering around to try to find it. And, oh my goodness, a terrific roll there. That was Jeff Wilson's Vauxhall Belmont, that's all I can tell you. And incredibly and thankfully, Jeff is perfectly all right. Walks away from the car. 18 is Godfrey Hall, and Wilson has only got 3 wheels on the ground when Hall's BMW hits him. Nudges him into a terrific double roll, smashes the car to pieces, and amazingly Wilson is perfectly okay. 130 miles an hour as they approach Druids, the right-hander. Cleland, Hoy's going through, Rouse is going through, and Cleland's lost it. He's into the arm cone, they're surging past him. Now this is 30 miles an hour here, down through the gearbox, into the right-hander. Now watch the steering wheel. Left, right, he's all over the place. Hoy goes through, Rouse goes through, into the Armco. On come the alternator and oil pressure lights. Down the avenue, chasing Rob Gravett at 130 miles an hour. He's going through. Oh, up again. He's hit it twice, but he's passed. Let's have a look, replay. Now you see Sugden hits the Peugeot at the back, then at the front. Matthew Neal follows through and straight into us. At the camera goes Rob Gravett in the Nissan Primera, completing the lap, chasing Flux and Neal, and they make contact. And Neal spins in front of everybody else. There's no collision, and he's kept going. There's the battle for the lead ahead. Tim has won 5 times this year. Donington, Knockhill, Pembury, Brands twice, and he wants a 6th win. And there's a spin. It's Soper and Leslie, both of them off. And Soper spins, 2 complete spins. And here's a replay of the Soper spin, 80 miles an hour. Get ready for a spin. Here it is. That's once. This is twice. This is Rob Gravett, 4th place, the leader's ahead, and it is very close, and there's somebody off. In fact, there's 2 people off. And Jeff Allam's one of them. He's gone straight into Sugden's BMW. That's Chris Nissen going into the tar wall.
It was a race full of spectacular exits, none more costly than Allam's.
Allam leads then. The 2 Toyotas together, round Westfield. And they're off! Both of them off! Well, incredible! Both the Toyotas off and the rest stream through. Wow! And Andy Rouse puts up his thumb, I'm okay. Oh dear, these 2 are teammates, Will Hoy and Andy Rouse. And Andy Rouse's body language says rage and fury into Westfield. The 2 Toyotas run wide, they're almost touching. I think they are touching as they go into the second part of the right-hander, and all of a sudden they snap to the left. And it is an absolute miracle they stayed on the grass as the rest streamed through. Neither of them touching the tarmac. And here is how Andy Rouse saw it. Cleland ahead. Now there is Hoy on the right. They're drifting left, and they are off. Slam bang at 120 miles an hour. Neither of them hurt. Incredible. Tire smoke. We've lost it. Out. As the Armco mashes the Toyotas.
But it was quite a heavy impact, but mainly deflected along the barriers. I hit once from the front and once on the rear, and both cars ended up within 20 yards of each other. So it's one of those racing incidents. I mean, you never wish it to happen, but it did.
Against head-on to the traffic, Middlehurst just came straight into me at 80 miles an hour. It's getting ridiculous because it's getting like Dodgem cars. It's the first lap. They're crazy.
Now this is Keith O'Dore, Andy Middlehurst Nissan team. Julian Bailey in the Toyota Carina. He's attacking. He's going to try and go through on the left, but he's hit the Toyota. Bailey spins out, and Harvey goes up into 7th place as the unfortunate Julian. And here's how it happened. It's Rob Gravett. Rob Gravett hits Matthew Neal's BMW. It spins out.
Cleland 2nd, and this was how Allam and Rouse resolved their contest for 3rd.
Burton Rowe moves across to the right to block Cleland, and he hits Menu. He's hit Menu, and Rouse has passed all 3, and he's gone up into 2nd. And hello, that is Torquil Tearing going backwards for Christmas, rejoining over the grass. And there's some rough stuff in the middle. Gravett off to the right. Ray Bell's gone off to the left. Cleland leads into Redgate. Harvey is 2nd.
This is Keith O'Dore contesting the same bit of road with Bobby Verdon-Rowe, and O'Dore comes off worse, dropping down to 14th. Verdon-Rowe fares better across the grass. Leslie wasn't done, and in this aggressive attempt to retake the place, he only hastened his own retirement from the race. Leslie, that all meant that his race didn't last too long.
It was a gentle roll, but it was enough to bring out the red flags and stop the race. Leslie was able to extricate himself quite rapidly. The white BMW is that of Colin McRae, dominating British rallying, and here with Matthew Neal in his sights, showing a straightforward approach to racecraft. Others not so fortunate, Keith O'Dore and Bobby Burton Rowe.
He's going up on the inside, and he hits Matthew Neal's BMW. Spins number 12 out. Sugden is catching it, and off goes James Kay, number 11. And he is not the first to overcook things on the 100 mile an hour. Fifth in the Toyota, and there's another spinner. It's Matthew Neal's BMW M3. Ah, here's what happened. Sugden, Matthew Neal behind him. Neal too close, touches the back of Sugden's BMW, spins it out of the way, and up to ninth place. James Kay, Walker, Sugden, and Sugden hits Walker's BMW, pushes him out of the way, up to 13th place. Sean Walker staggers back. He started fourth, he's still fourth. Ahead of him, Leslie, Allen, and Rouse. And he's catching Leslie. Club corner, Soper goes for third. He's right up alongside the Vauxhall, he's passed it. He's spinning, he's lost it. He's been hit, somebody's hit him. It's Rob Gravitt's Peugeot has hit Steve Soper. Soper's okay, and here is how Rob Gravitt saw it. Soper on the left, Leslie on the right, they collide. Soper holds his line, spins, Leslie goes through, and Hoy goes. Tim Harvey is leading the championship again. Fantastic. But John Cleland is attacking Soper. He's up on two wheels. Soper holds his line. He's pushed right out to the right. He attacks again as they go to the right-hander at Lovehill. And they both spin. They're both out. Soper and Cleland both out of the race. Two very determined chargers, each refusing to yield, and they've both paid the penalty. John Cleland, utter dejection.
I just have to say, you know, the man chopped me a couple of times, then he runs into me and takes me straight in the barriers. I mean, what are we doing here? Is this stock car racing or is this motorsport? He might get away with that in Germany, where he might be Mr. Superstar. But this is clean. The man's an animal.
Now we're in car with Rob Gravitt, and it's Watts' Mazda in front, and Patrick nearly loses it. And out goes Bobby Burton Rowe's Toyota, and this is just the first lap.
And only halfway through the first lap, the BMWs were in control, the rest were not. Exit Keith O'Dore. The violence of Eugene O'Brien's attack on O'Dore, well, that's best viewed from Will Hoy's Toyota. Burton Rowe was having an eventful start. And so too was Wyn Percy.
It's a narrow track at the start. Winkelhock leads away. Watts is second. Soper's coming up fast. They're going down the ridges, and it's off. Bang, bang. It's chaos. Cars off everywhere. Now, surely they'll have to stop the race. Tim Harvey's stationary in the Renault, and now we're with Soper, and he's in trouble. And that's Patrick Watts. It's carnage at Snetterton. Wyn Percy's Nissan looks as though it's hit something, but they're racing on.
Keith O'Dore in the Nissan got a nudge into Allam's Vauxhall, and the rest just stacked up behind or took avoiding action as best they could. The most heavily involved behind Allam was the red Team Dynamics BMW of Matthew Neal. It was hard to apportion blame, although not having a staggered start on such a narrow track didn't help, but didn't deserve to be spun into the path of the bulk of the field, including the accelerating Matthew Neal. So this was the first attempt to start the race. Best viewed from the back of Winkelhock's car as it surged into the lead. Allam off the track, the back half of the field would go no further. But the front three rows battle on until the second corner. Patrick Watts gets out of shape, forces Soper onto the grass before totally losing it himself.
They turn in. Leslie's very close. He drifts wide, turns in again. Bang, that's it. He's hit Cleland, off he goes. Look at the muck through the windscreen. He pushes the sequential gear stick forward, but he stalled the engine. You see the light come on, he got it going again. Into Sear, don't forget David Leslie is behind him. Cleland goes wide, he's hit by Leslie. The back swings out. dirt all over the windscreen. He's spinning all the time. He tries to get the car in gear. Now, can Winkelhock, number 22, regain the lead? No, he can't. Off he goes. It's brake hard. And there's somebody off. Great cloud of dust. They go through into the old hairpin. Oh my goodness, that's Keith O'Daw's Nissan, and it's gone straight over the catch fencing. Well, now we're looking back from Andy Rouse's car. This is a replay, and that's Keith O'Daw's Nissan. Turns left, he's lost it. He's doing about 120 miles an hour, and he hits the bank. He somersaults over the fencing. Look at that. That is a really big one. And here is a replay from O'Daw's car. Look, he's lost it over the grass and turns right over. You saw blue sky at the bottom of your picture, and that's him landing, and the marshals running.
Second row, David Leslie and Keith O'Daw, who hadn't had the best of luck in the season so far, and was returning to the circuit where at the end of last season, he had an enormous piece of luck. This was in the Toka shootout, and the luck was surviving this crash unscathed.
In O'Daw's Nissan, he's pressing Watts and Hoy ahead of him. There's the Mazda, and Hoy's gone off. Now here's a replay. Look in the top right corner and see what happened to Will Hoy when he went off. There's the Toyota across the grass into the barrier, and Alan Menu in the Renault retakes the place from David Leslie. And there's a spin. That is Ian Carn's Vauxhall. Cleland in front, and Soper is really charging to try and catch the Vauxhall and get past it. Into the avenue, round Cascades, down to Falk. He's going off! He's going off! Straight into the tyre wall! Now, why on earth did that happen? That's not like Steve Soper. Something must have broken, surely. And here's a replay, looking back at Soper's car from Cleland's. Soper turns in, tries to, goes straight off across the grass into that tyre wall. And Alan takes third position. Now from Steve Soper's point of view. Watch his hands, calm reaction on the wheel, and watch our cameraman as we head straight towards him. Stop! He's a runner. Matthew Neal. And Needell ahead is attacking Harvey for 8th position into Knickerbrook. They turn in. And off goes Needell, off goes Needell, he spun to a standstill. Now here's a replay, watch Tiff Needell on the left. Harvey goes through, Needell turns in, and Neal hits him at the back. Coulston's, Verdon Rowe leads Nuttall for 7th, Verdon Rowe in the Toyota, and into the tyre wall. Nuttall goes through, and he's got a tyre jammed under the front of his car. First, second and third in their contest, and Menu is off. He was 5th, so that's both the Renaults out.
There'd be decisive action among the privateers. This was Alex Portman and Ian Carn. And John Cleland went out of the race at Druids. Especially frustrating for Cleland, as the finishing positions in race 1 would decide the grid for race 2. Up front, Leslie had recovered from his bad start. He's past Winkelhock and forces the leader Hoy into a mistake, coming out of Surtees. The Akira Cost man felt duly aggrieved, but no disciplinary action was deemed necessary.
And here are the leaders, Winkelhock, Soper, Hoy, we're with Winkelhock, and he's going off! He's going off! Straight into the Armco. Donner and Blitzen, says Winkelhock, and that's his race over. No points for him. And up there's a collision. 2 BMWs. It's Alex Portman and Matthew Neal, and they're from the same team. We're with Portman. There's Neal getting away. And they spin turn together. Now, we're with Portman. There's Matthew Neal ahead. He's spinning, and there's just absolutely nowhere for Alex Portman to go. It certainly wasn't his fault. And it looks as though he's paid the penalty. Number 79 is Leslie. And it's Matthew Neal again. Number 13 in the BMW. Off. And right behind the Nissan is the Vauxhall. And Win Percy's going for it again. And Hoy's off. Hoy's off. Straight into the tyre barrier. He was being pushed too hard. Now here's a replay from Will Hoy's car. Out of Surtees, into clearways, onto the grass, into the tyre wall. That's it. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Getting close, and the contact again, another BMW. Number 11, this time it's Ray Bell. Going round the left-hander, and that's Jeff Allen on the left. And Cleland's hit his teammate. He's hit Allen's Vauxhall. Here it is, Tiffany Dell's Nissan. He dives into a gap that just isn't there, and he's not going to be flavour of the month at Renault, I can tell you that. Out goes Tim Harvey. Grand Prix driver Julian Bailey is flying. He's attacking his teammate Will Hoy. In fact, he's really attacked him. That's it. Off goes Will Hoy, skating to a standstill on his roof. It's a good thing Will's strapped in. The car upside down is a Toyota with Will Hoy crawling out of it. A pretty bemused Will Hoy, I should think. He's lucky to have got away with that. And he walks away perfectly okay from the look of him. And here's another one. Tim Harvey hits Alex Portman's BMW, and Tim rolls it too. Hoy on the left, Bailey on the right. Hoy turns in. Bailey's on a collision course, nothing he can do about it. On two wheels goes Hoy's Toyota, slides off on the roof, broken windscreen. Hoy hanging upside down in his harness, frees himself and gets out of the car. Now here's a replay from Hoy's point of view. Turns in, crash, bang, he's over, upside down. It's Steve Soper. He was in second place, he's out. Now what has happened? Oh, that's what's happened. He's gone off, I don't know why. Now, this is a view from Soper's car, replay. Let's see, maybe he touched O'Dore's Nissan. Anyway, he's gone off onto the grass in the biggest possible way. He's hit the Arco. Look at that debris all over the place. And there go Radishik, Winkelhock and Leslie as John Cleland finishes 6th. And here's a battle for 7th between Menu and Donidell. And collision, Menu spins off. Now, is he out like Harvey? No, he's not. He rejoins.
But then came the sequence of incidents that would force the stoppage of this first race. Bobby Verdon-Rowe goes off, possibly after contact with Wyn Percy. A few yards up the track, though, there's more emphatic contact. Wyn Percy's Nissan collected head-on by Ian Khan's Cavalier. And to add to the drama, Steve Soper tangling with Radisic. Soper would finish out of the points, a major blow to his championship prospects.
I thought the corner was fired, obviously Paul thought it was his, but the result was I came off work.
しかし気負いすぎたマンセルはコーナーで大きくテールを流してしまった。コントロールを失ったモンデオにニードルが追突。このコンタクトでマンセルはコースサイドへものすごい勢いで弾き出され、コンクリートウォールに激突。大破したマシンの中でマンセルは気を失ってしまった。このアクシデントでレースは赤旗中断となった。